After 11 weeks of action here in the World GT Championship, it all comes down to this, where we say for the final time this season, welcome to the World GT Championship here on RaceSpotTV. My name is Paul Smith, and alongside me in the commentary booth, as always, is Peter Mackay. And Peter, it has been a roller coaster of a season, but what a championship finale we've got for you today.
We certainly do. 3 sprint races at Hockenheim, a recipe for drama and tension here for the drivers, and particularly in the Pro Championship between Leandro Anderuti and the rest. It's going to be so tight.
Yep, we started the season back in January at Watkins Glen. We've visited Interlagos, Red Bull Ring, Bathurst, Circuit Zolder. Twin Ring Motegi was the halfway point of the season before we then headed to Sebring, Monza, Oschersleben for the first time in this championship, Daytona, Manicourt for the first time in this championship as well. And as we say, May the 1st, May Day celebrations here at the Hockenheimring for this championship finale. And what a championship it has been. Let's have a look then at the Pro Championship. Just 1 point separates Alex Davidson and Leandro Anderuti. 21 points off of the championship leaders Aaron Vazquez. He was 1 point behind but got a 20 championship point penalty after last week. Lucas Prada and Ross McFarlane mathematically are still in for a hunt for the championship. In your Pro-Am Championship, it is James Bume who's pretty much got one hand on that title, but the Platinum Racing Team driver of Daniel Sedgley will be fighting all the way to the end, along with Tom Brown from the Brabham Esports Hissing Sid team. Ethan Critchley and Justin Claessens round out that top 5. In your AM Championship, Andy Archer, another one who has got, well, 9 out of 10 fingers on that trophy. He's got a 195 point lead, and Andy pretty much just has to finish races, not get into trouble, and he is going to be AM champion for Fat Atom Racing. Jack Osborne, his teammate, is in 2nd place. Bit more pressure for him though, just 20 points ahead of Sophia Ridpath after the sensational drive that Sophia had last time out at Manicourt, with Magic Sakovic and Sarah Raab also down there into 5th place. In the Pro Teams Championship, well, Pure Sims Esports, they have got that crown sewn up, and well, they'll be delighted with that to get 1 trophy in the cabinet. Brabham Esports, a valiant 2nd place at the moment, ahead of German SimRacing.de by ACV. Brabham Esports, Hissing Sid and Altus Esports rounding out the top 5 there. In the AM Team Championship, well, Fat Atom Racing, they've just got a 72 point lead over the Platinum Racing Team, who are in 2nd place. 3rd place is Altitude Esports Blue, they're 172 points back, so they could still win the AM Championship as well. DCW Racing and Team Mad round out the top 5 there. But all eyes, Peter, you would have to say, is on that Pro Championship battle. Leandro Anderuti, provisionally at the moment, is on pole position, but we say welcome back to the series for Tristan Iglesias, who had really a good couple of rounds. I think that's a Bathurst being one of them. 2nd place in qualifying. He's missed the last few rounds, but he is back, and I would imagine that he's going to be supporting his teammate.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to see Tristan back here, and yeah, that support in battle is going to be really important. We saw how important it's been in the past for the Pure Sims team, with Ross McFarlane and Alex Davidson fighting up the front there in the Ferraris together. Leandro Anderuti, he's had to do it all on his own as well, and his Porsche, the only driver to be in the Porsche, and has shown that it can do the job. He's on pole at the moment with a checkered flag out. Can he improve on a 136.2? No, he cannot. But yeah, this is going to be really important for Aaron Vazquez to have an ally out there tonight, for sure.
Now, how important is it that they're at this venue indeed, as Jack Sedgwick does improve his qualifying up into 8th place across the line for him? But whilst we've got a minute or so here, how important is it that we're at Hockenheim, which is quite a wide track, isn't it? It's only around the stadium section at the end of the track where it narrows down a bit.
Yeah, I would say it's wide in the open part of the sector, but it does pinch at certain points. It certainly pinches at turn 1, and it pinches down at turn 2 as well. That's where you'll often see a lot of incidents here at Hockenheim. Then you're right, it does start to widen out, and there's multiple corners in the middle part of the circuit where you've got a little bit more room to put some moves on, and then you go back into the stadium and it all funnels in again as well. So watch for those pinpoints, those pinch points, excuse me, when we go through the lap, and particularly when we get in our 2 reverse grid races as well.
Well, that's another twist in the tail of this championship is, of course, reverse grids for the second and third race. And also, don't forget as well, you do not drop this score. Whatever you score here tonight is what you take to your final point score tally of the championship. It's season 13 here in the World GT Championship, and we will be taking a look at your starting grid in just a second now, because importantly for one of your championship contenders, Leandro Andaluti has pole position. Alongside him, Tristan Iglesias. What is he going to do in this race? Lucas Prada and Alex Davidson, the 2 Pure Sims Esport teammates, what can they do? Prada says he's there to support his teammate, but Prada's still in with the championship shout. Christoph Krekas 5th with Alan Vasquez in 6th place, another one of those championship contenders. Marvin Lesmolman and Jack Sedgwick then share the next row with the first Pro-Am, James Bume, the championship leader in Pro-Am. He's starting 9th place alongside Ross McFarlane, our 4-time World GT champion. Philip Koenig and Tom Brown then round out the top 12. Then Hunter McDaniel and James Armstrong with Milan Tekans, and Jack Osborne's the top Am here in the qualifying grid in 16th place. Locatello and Daniel Handover round out row number 9. Row 10 for Ethan Critchley and Fabio Unvadros, with Sophia Ridpath after that impressive display last time out on row number 11 with Andy Archer. Daniel Sedgley and Chris Gooch on row number 12. 13th row of the grid for Tim Perry and Pete Harrod, with Daniel Knowles and Richard Semner sharing row number 14. Maciej Sakovic and Paul Crawford on row number 15. 16th row of the grid is shared by Sarah Raab and Jonathan Walker. Good to see Jonathan on the grid here today, with Matt Woodhouse and Adam Watson then on the next row of the grid. Paddy Feltner and Adam Hedgecock rounding out this next one. And then the rest of the grid coming up on screen. Ben Gregory, Brian Sohan, Justin Clarsons, Ben Palmer and Cody Crossgrove all do not score themselves a qualifying time. So these drivers are getting themselves prepared for this championship finale. It's the first race of 3. So if you're new to the championship here, well, where have you been? But what a day you have picked to join us here in the World GT Championship. 3 20-minute sprint races. No expected pit stops from any of the drivers here today. That just means they can all duke it out, Peter.
It does, and I think it's the perfect format for this fight, this finale, this showdown of the World GT Championship. It's one of the closest seasons we've ever seen, with 3 top drivers so evenly matched. And tonight we figure it out, and Leandro Andaruti's done exactly what he needs to do by slamming it on pole position to land the first punch of the day.
Well, the man who's in second place in the championship gets himself on pole position. He's going to draw away very early out of the final turn here. The green flag, we're underway, and already Adam Vasquez getting very aggressive on Lucas Prada into turn 1. It's already starting. He's starting a championship charge here. He's 21 points up to the championship leader. He needs to go. We're going 4 wide into turn number 2. Please, everybody, let's all get through the first few laps here safely. But Adam Vasquez, what a start. He's right up behind, well, the championship leader. We've got a car spinning out. Around the background is James Armstrong, who's around. He's had an instant out there. There's been a couple more have instants, but they're all keeping green flag racing into the hairpin for the first time in this race. Squeeze going on there for the 666 of Marvin Lesmolman on the Brabham Esports car of Christoph Krekas. But my goodness, what an aggressive start. And says somebody spun in the background, it's Watson. Adam Watson, he had a nightmare of qualifying. He's gone to the back of the field. But Peter, what an aggressive start from Adam Vasquez.
Yeah, he had to make some moves early, did Aaron Vasquez, and that's exactly what he did, and really had to be very, very aggressive, got those moves done. and is able to get away then with that leading bunch, which is led by Leandro Anderuti with his teammate Tristan Iglesias up there in second, and then it's Alex Davidson in third with Vasquez in fourth. So Iglesias, for him to do the team job here, he's got to try and put a move on Anderuti as best as possible. He can't afford to sit behind and watch Anderuti. He's got to put him under pressure.
Yeah, well, I mean, Vasquez, he'll be saying to his teammate Iglesias, I need you to keep pressure on Anderuti and try and get ahead of him and then back him up to Davidson and Vasquez here. That's what he'll be wanting his teammate to do, and that's Paul Crawford for DCW Racing off at the final corner of this track at the end of lap 1. So we've had a couple of people have issues out there. Paddy Faulkner has taken a tour back to pit road. He is out for the time being. But the driver's heading round towards the hairpin for the second time now, and Iglesias just showing the nose there. He's trying to get into the head and almost get into the back of that Porsche as well as they come out the hairpin. This is a real sort of cat amongst the pigeons, as Tristan Iglesias being back, isn't it?
Oh, hugely so, yeah. Qualifying on the front row, showing that he's lost none of his speed, having been absent from the championship for many, many rounds. And yeah, great to see him back. Great to see both those Altas Audis up there fighting at the front. And this is the melee that went on at the beginning. Car number 62 for Brabham Esports, James Armstrong, coming into sort of turn 2-3 chicane and just got kind of crowded out a little bit, and then onto the grass. And how he didn't collect anybody, I'll never know. That was blind luck.
That is the one. Get the lottery numbers on, James, as Ben Gregory was another one who had issues out there on the opening lap. But yeah, James, you get yourself some lottery numbers down, because my goodness, that was, as you say, blind luck. Running wide through turn 1 is Iglesias there, trying to carry the speed, looking to the inside. Now, one thing that we've got to keep an eye on as well, there's a couple of things that can go in drivers' favour here. If you get 0 incident points throughout the races, and the Archer's taking a trip off at turn number 1. Is this all on his own here? I think it might be. Clipping the curb on the inside, perhaps? Yeah, clipping that curb and settling the car. Does he manage to find the wall? The answer is no. No, he doesn't find the wall there. But there's a couple of things that drivers have got to keep an eye on as well. If you get 0 incident points in this race, you get 5 bonus points towards the championship. Fastest lap, that's 2 points, and that's fastest lap per category. So each in Pro Am and Am get a bonus, 2 bonus points for fastest lap. But you lose championship points for every 2 incident points that you accumulate, but you are given a grace of 5 incident points. So as soon as you hit 7 instant points, that's when you start losing championship points.
And that fastest lap of the race was set last time by Aaron Vasquez on 36.876. Marvin Leschmelman behind him in the Porsche actually was quicker, but had broken track limit, so it didn't count. So Vasquez with the fastest clean lap so far, as Anderuti over the line to start another one. 136.9 for Anderuti, 137.1 for Iglesias, 137.0 for Davidson, and a 136.9 for Vasquez. So very tight at the front there.
Very tight indeed, yeah. It's really, really close, and these drivers, they will be well, they'll be hoping to try and just get themselves whatever results that they can do, and get themselves the best possible result here today. But it's Anderuti who's in the driver's seat right now. He's currently 0.3 of a second ahead. James Bume and Lucas Prada have been battling away, and Prada's been falling back here. That Mercedes, he set a really good qualifying lap time, but he's fallen back. He was on the same row of the grid as his teammate Alex Davidson.
Yeah, not been a good race for Prada so far. He's had such a good run last couple of rounds as well, playing a fantastic supporting role in the Pure Sims team, putting some really strong results on the board. So perhaps that Mercedes not necessarily suiting the track, maybe, but it seems like the the only two Porsches in the field. It's mainly been Andretti is the only Porsche in the field for most of the championship, but look, Marvin Lesmo been switching cars halfway through, and he's up there in 5th is Marvin with a very, very fast lap time. He's setting 136 highs. Vasquez is off, and there was contact. There had to be.
And that's Alex Davidson that he had the contact with,
word.
if that's the case, because they were battling for 3rd place. Well, we said that Vasquez has been very aggressive off the green flag. Well, let's have a look then. What's happened here through the final few corners of the lap? Vasquez, does he see a gap open up? Yes, he does. He sees that Davidson goes off. Oh, I don't know. That's a very, very tricky one to look. This'll give us a view then, Peter.
Okay, let's take a look at it then. Alex Davidson. So, yeah, Vasquez goes by.
There's no intent in there, that's for sure.
No.
I think it's just because Vasquez has come on the inside of Alex Davidson. He's taking a tighter line. He's having to brake a bit more, and he's trailer braking a bit more. It was a mistake by Davidson, and I think he's just having to just wall it up just that little bit more, and that's caught out Davidson there, and the contact's made, in my opinion at least.
Yeah, I would say that's a racing incident. I don't think you can land any blame on Alex Davidson there. Where was he supposed to go? I don't think that he was maintaining his line, and yeah, Vasquez. Well, he's got a lot of work to do now, and that car looked damaged also. So it's a really difficult, really difficult race ahead. Yeah, the rear wing is all bent out of shape, so that will not be helping at all. The last thing you want is that Audi to be even less unstable, even more unstable, excuse me, even less stable. There you go, if you want it that way, right? But yeah, quite a lot of rear damage. It was obviously a fair thump
into the wall, especially. Yeah. I don't think so much, and again, it's because he was on the brakes, the weight is transferred over the front of the car, so the back end's a little bit lighter, and just takes the smallest of touches to unsettle Vasquez's car. It'd be interesting to see how he does going down towards the hairpin. He's in the slipstream, he's in 16th place, and he's losing ground, isn't he, on the car in front?
Yeah, absolutely is. So, goodness, up to half race distance, and we've got a big breakaway at the front then with Andretti and Iglesias. Davison back to 5th, so it's very much advantage Leandro Andretti. He came into this round 1 point behind Alex Davidson, and well, at the moment Andretti looks in position to move back into the championship lead. The one person who couldn't afford to lose any points was Aaron Vasquez, 21 points back, and well, right now he's staring down the barrel of a big points loss.
Now, if you were here with us last week, you may remember myself and Peter saying about how the top 3 in the championship were just separated by 1 point. Well, Aaron Vasquez did get himself a 20 championship. Oh God, put my teeth in, Paul. 20 championship points penalty for contact that he made last week, and that dropped him back to 21 points off the championship lead coming into this round. So you're absolutely right, Peter. He was the one who had the most to lose out of the 3 of them at the head of the table, and unfortunately for him, he has lost.
Yeah, he certainly has. So Andretti holds on for now. All that Tristan Iglesias can do is just try and pass Andretti and try and beat him and just try and reduce the points deficit as much as possible for his teammate. One thing for Vasquez is, as long as he doesn't drop any more positions, he's in a strong position to get a reverse grid draw. And the thing is, if he starts from the first couple of rows in a reverse grid race, he could just walk away with it with the pace that he can develop. I mean, in race 1 back now, which was Ottersleben or Magny-Cours, where he just disappeared. He was absolutely dominant. Iglesias, huge moment there coming through Mobil 1 curve. It's like he hit a patch of Mobil 1 there. Huge slide.
right in front of the Porsche Experience Centre as well as that. So here at the Hockenheimring, you see it on the right hand side of your view, but just carrying a little bit too much. Oh, he took 2 attempts at turning into the corner, and that just puts him out into the gravel. Fortunately for him, though, keeps the car going straight. No sharp reactionary movement as well. That's the last thing you want to do, is suddenly just yank at the wheel, unsettle the car, and send yourself flying off into the wall.
It looked very calm behind the cockpit, didn't it? But the outside looked absolutely spectacular. As Vasquez had briefly got up to 15th, but dropped back again to 16th. He's in a battle with Daniel Handover at the moment. He's also got number 11 of Locatello right behind him. So he's actually in a really difficult position right now, Vasquez, especially with a car that's not driving 100%. He could find himself very vulnerable, particularly on the straightaways when the car is really not in its optimum aerodynamic trim.
Lucas Prada seems to have found a turn of pace, so maybe it took him just a lap or two for his car to come into play, but he's now been moving forward. He's up into 7th place ahead of his teammate Ross McFarlane, who, don't forget, is the... Oh, in fact, Ross McFarlane going to the back of Prada there. The 2 teammates coming together. That's not in the playbook there from Pure Sims, but yeah, Ross McFarlane, I was about to say, 4 times in a row a quadruple champion, and McFarlane spun around by Koenig into the kitty litter. He does keep that car going, but crucially for Vasquez, that's a position gain.
Well, that's a freebie there. So McFarlane off the road then, again at Mobil 1 curve. That is one of the pinch points we were talking about. Such a danger point of the circuit. You just got to get that dip in just right. And we'll get a look at it. So Koenig was right behind him in the Lamborghini, in the German sim racing car, the black and green machine right behind him, and it's almost as if just as coming into that right hander, it almost seems like they had 2 very different approaches to the corner. McFarlane deciding to, his line more of a go in a little bit softer and then get on the power early, whereas Koenig preferring to go in deeper, and they converged, and well, McFarlane came off worse.
He did, absolutely. So amazingly, Aaron Vasquez still actually has the fastest lap of the race as well in this one. So conditions out there not conducive to setting quick lap times, it seems, out on track, although it's not the hottest track that we've ever experienced here. It is coming up to 11 o'clock in sim time, and it's 29 degrees as that track temperature, so these cars, they'll be happy with those conditions. It's still Anderuti for Iglesias, with Marvin Lesmolman in 3rd place. Your top Pro-Am driver, James Bume, is in 8th place ahead of Philip Koenig, with Tom Brown the next best Pro-Am driver in 10th place, and Milan Tekans in 12th place. As we've got 2 cars side by side, that's Adam Watson and James Armstrong. Justin Clarson's, is it? Oh, they're still bumping doors. It's Armstrong. It's Adam Watson and Armstrong. They were absolutely knocking hell out of each other there.
Yeah, a little bit too much contact for my liking there between those pair. And yeah, you just don't want to get any more incident points than you want to, and you don't want to risk any damage as well. Now, one potential crunch point here is, Watson loses it, and just hangs on to it. Oh my goodness me, right on the ragged edge there, Adam Watson, and loses a couple of places. But there is one potential point of contention here. Christoph Karekas, who's running in 4th position right now, he was due to take a qualifying ban last week. He did not take it, therefore it rolls on. But he did not exclude himself from qualifying this week. So his position in 4th, he may well get a black flag or be eliminated from the results because he hasn't served the penalty. He would be disqualified, yes. So that then means that would be not quite Christmas Day, but certainly a significant birthday for Alex Davidson, because he's in 5th. He would be in line to profit from that.
He would, certainly, that's for sure. And anything to help him out with his championship run would really do him the world of good. Just to let everybody know, the hard-working admins here behind the scenes at the World GT Championship. They're going to be keeping us up to date with everything that goes on in terms of the championship points to the best of their ability. So between races, we'll be getting updates as to how championships stand. But this one, I have a funny feeling that this round of the championship is just going to be so close. That points difference, by the way, for Alex Davidson would be 2 additional points for his championship.
Well, he came into this round leading it by 1, so yeah, 2 points. It's going to count. The fastest lap still is with Aaron Vazquez. Now, can any of the other drivers beat that and try and pinch those points away, because they're all going to count at this stage, at this point, as this championship decider here at Hockenheim. And well, it's coming into race 2 and 3. Aaron Vazquez, he'll be watching that spinny wheel very closely, because if he doesn't get that reverse grid, well, that's his championship hopes in the toilet.
Yeah, he needs a couple of favourable spins of the wheel. Does that on, as he's looking all over the back of the Brabham Esports hissing Sid car in front of him right now. Of Hunter, no, that's not Hunter McDaniel, that's Daniel Handover. And well, it's not easy to get past Handover, and the problem is he's got Massimo Locatello right behind him in the Lamborghini. That Lamborghini doesn't seem to be favoured around here today, but there is one in the top 10. The rest of them are a little bit further down the order here. Vazquez, no matter what he tries, as we reach the 2-minute remaining mark, he just cannot get ahead of McDaniel, and I think that damage is what's holding him back.
Yeah, he's clearly having to drive the wheels off that car and just not got the speed in the car because of that damage. So where can Vazquez finish? It's going to be mighty tight whether he gets that reverse grid or not. But Marvin Lesmelman in position for a podium right now. That would be a fantastic result for the 666 Porsche driver for German Sim Racing, but does have Christoph Kreckes behind him. However, we believe Kreckes will be eliminated from these results because he has not served his qualifying ban. Oh, as Davidson stuffs it up the inside anyway, so Davidson's saying, I don't need any freebies, I'll just take them myself, thank you.
Yeah, and Cedric is trying to follow through here. Vazquez, by the way, if he stays in 15th place, a little bit of a scrap between Cedric and Kreckes. And Cedric trying to hold it around the outside, that gives you the inside for the next couple of corners. But if Vazquez stays where he is in this race, he guarantees himself to be somewhere in the reverse grid slots, because the lowest number that gets your reverse grid pole position is 15.
So 15th he's guaranteed, he's in basically. Yeah, well he'll be desperately trying to hang on there and trying to keep Massimo Locatello at bay then with Aaron Vazquez. Well, back at the front, Leandro Anderuti putting on a masterclass at the top front of the field here at Hockenheim. He's had a superb season battling away and really, really tough with Davidson and Vazquez, but he's really putting a strong hand forward for this championship battle.
It is certainly a great display, and we've seen this from Anderuti throughout the season, where he'll have a really, really good round and get himself a lead and just pull away, and he's been able to do that against Tristan Iglesias, who's not a slow driver at all. There goes Cedric trying to look around the outside of the hairpin. That's going to open up the door to Lucas Prada right now, though, so he's got to be careful with all of that as they head on through into the Mercedes arena here. The tight left-hander, turn number 8, then through 9 into 10, towards the end of the lap here. And well, Anderuti, he's heading into the stadium section through the hairpin, famous hairpin where Sebastian Vettel went off into the gravel at the German Grand Prix when it started raining, but that's not a concern for Leandro Andaluti right now, because he's just got one more corner to go, and he will be the race winner in the opening race here of this evening in the World GT Championship. Leandro Andaluti from Switzerland across the line takes victory here in the opening race of the night. James Bume is going to come across the line in 8th place. He's your top placed Pro-Am driver across the line. Jack Osborne is the best AM driver in 17th place overall for Jack. The Fat Atom team doing well out of that race and getting themselves an AM class win. Alan Vasquez, your championship contender, came into this round in 3rd place. He finishes in 15th place, although we believe that that'll be classified as 14th place by the series organisers because of Christoph Krekas looking at a disqualification for not serving a penalty. Fast ball, the final couple of cars coming around, and that was Paul Crawford having issues around there towards the end of the lap. But Peter, I mean, we said there was going to be drama today, and well, that's certainly what we got.
Well, 2 of our championship contenders coming together certainly qualifies as drama, that's for sure. Can you blame? Certainly, you can't blame Alex Davidson in that sense. I don't believe so. I think very much a racing incident, but big consequences to this championship fight.
Yeah. So let's have a look at those results then, and then after these results, we'll get you what the reverse grid draw will be. So it's Andaluti, the privateer, who takes race win in this first race ahead of Tristan Iglesias. Marvin Lesmallman then in 3rd place ahead of Alex Davidson, the man who came into this round in the championship lead. Christoph Krekas in 5th place, but we do believe he's going to get disqualified for not serving a qualifying ban. Jack Sedgwick, Lucas Prada, James Buemi for Altitude Esports taking the top spot in Pro-Am ahead of Philip Koenig and Tom Brown. Hunter McDaniel then ahead of Milan Takens with Fabio Unvadrus, Daniel Handover, Ana Vasquez, the man who came in 3rd place in this round, is 15th at the end of that one. Massimo Locatello ahead of your AM winner, which was Jack Osborne. Ethan Critchley, Sophia Ridpath and Daniel Sedgley round out your top 20. Then after that, it's going to be Ross McFarlane after that contact into the stadium section. Tim Perry, Richard Simner, James Armstrong, who had to have a recovery drive after his issues on lap 1. Justin Clarsons, Jonathan Walker, Adam Watson, who had an eventful race down in 27th ahead of Andy Archer. Ben Gregory, Sarah Raab. And then the final few drivers to come. Pete Harrod ahead of Cody Cosgrove with Adam Hedgecock, Matt Woodhouse, Brian Sohn and Paul Crawford. 1 lap down was Maciej Sakovic, and then the rest, well, 3 laps down or more. Daniel Nolt, Chris Gooch, Ben Palmer, and Paddy Faulkner right at the start of this race. And let's take a look at who is going to be on pole position, Peter, for this race.
Well, this is really, really important to see what the order is going to be when we line up. Oh, it's going to be quite a big reverse. 22, nearly a full reverse grid. 22 there. So Aaron Vasquez, I think he would have liked to see it go 29 there, but 22, that will mean that Leandro Andaluti starts 22nd on the grid, and that should put Tim Perry on pole alongside, guess who? Ross McFarlane.
Well, Ross could get himself a ton of points here in this race. So we are between races right now. If you are new to the World GT Championship, in this finale, there are 3 20-minute races, and the drivers get a little bit of a rest period between each race before we start the next ones and we get that reverse grid sorted out. But well, I mean, Andaluti, pretty much a perfect race there, apart from not getting the fastest lap. But other than that, start from the front and finish it with the front.
Ideal, exactly what he needed to do. Stay out of the trouble, stay away from everyone, and yeah, he was flawless there with Leandro Andaluti in the Porsche. Race 2 coming up is the big test, though, starting 22nd, right in the epicenter of the storm. Sometimes they say that's the safest place to be. It isn't in a motor race. You are right there in the heat of the melee. So Anderutti's got to box really clever and just be so sharp and ready to dodge bullets when they come his way. For Vasquez, it's win or nothing. And he's going to have to get through Ross McFarlane to get that win, who's going to be starting up on the front row. McFarlane could well be gone by the time Vasquez gets through, but for the Spanish driver, he's been superb, particularly in the second half of the season, but that's what he's got to do now to try and get this championship.
Well, looking in the virtual paddock here on the World Sim Racing Discord server, Adam Vasquez thinks that his championship run is over. You never say never in the World GT Championship, never. That is for sure, because my goodness, you get really, really close racing, and it can happen. It happened to Vasquez in that first race. There's no guarantee that it won't happen to any of the other championship contenders.
Correct, absolutely. This championship's far from done. Any of the top three can still win it. You know, we've got not one but two reverse grid races left to go, and whenever we mix up the order, it's always throws up unpredictability. And when you've got to try and get through that pack, there's things that can go wrong, and it does not have to be your fault. There is a lot of it that is kind of in the lap of the gods.
I mean, when you look at the list of drivers now that Anderutti has got to go through from 22nd, I mean, just 3 cars in front of him will be Alex Davidson. That is going to be a keenly fought battle between those two, because those two are duking it out up at the front. You know, they've got Jack Sedgwick, who he's racing his own race. He doesn't really mind as to who's winning a championship. You know, there's some tough cookies out there. Lucas Prada, USIM's esports driver, he said he supported him. When you spoke to him, Peter, he said he's there to support his team and his teammates. He could do them a big favour here.
He's definitely played that role very, very well, and with bonuses as well. You know, he's put in great results as well as playing the supporting role to his teammates. And I tell you what, with the right choice of car next season, if he comes back to join us next season, he's one of the favourites for the championship, I believe. I mean, he really has been outperforming that Mercedes all season long. It's not been the car to have, and he really has done a great job with it. And at circuits where it suited the car, the kind of big, long, fast circuits, well, he got some really good results on the board.
Well, we have had an update of the championship standings right now. So the first thing to say is congratulations to Andy Archer now, who is not able to be caught in that AM Championship. So I said he had 9 fingers on that trophy. Well, he cannot be caught now, and he is the AM champion here. He's got a 182-point lead right now going into these final 2 races. So congratulations to him on winning the AM Championship. James Bume, well, he's got one hand on that trophy now ahead of Daniel Sedgley, 144 points. Remember, it's 80 points for a race win. So there's still a minimum of 170 points, because of course there's bonus points for fastest lap as well. Leandro Anderutti, the Pro Championship, this is the big one, and I can kind of see why Alan Vasquez is saying that his championship is done. Vasquez in 3rd place now is 53 points off of the championship leader. Alex Davidson 12 points behind Anderutti. So Leandro Anderutti getting that pole position and race 1 win has really helped himself in getting himself a 12-point margin over Davidson here at the front of the standings.
Vasquez to lose 32 points, that's really painful. In one race, that's really, really tough for him to take. And you would imagine he would have quite a lot of incident points in that race, whether that be off tracks or whether that be contact, like we saw with Davidson. So, yeah, that's the thing. If you're out the front on your own, like Anderutti was, you're going to keep your incident points to a minimum, and you can control your pace. You can control how much risk you take with the track limits as well. So is it Anderutti versus Davidson now? Don't say that just yet, but they're certainly in the strongest position.
They certainly are. Well, we will be taking a quick step aside for just a few moments, but stick around for races 2 and 3 here in the World GT Championship. Welcome back to coverage of the World GT Championship here on RaceSpotTV. It's season 13 of this magnificent championship. Paul Smith and Peter Mackay here on commentary, and well, it has certainly been an intriguing opening race to this season finale. We've got 2 more races to come your way, so sit back, get your beverage of choice, because this is going to be some exciting racing towards the end of this championship. Just 12 points separate the top 2 in Pro, and that is Leandro Andaluti and Alex Davidson coming into this penultimate round of the championship. And well, Peter, these sprint rounds, I think a few seasons ago they changed it from being an endurance race to sprint races for the season finale. I think they made a brilliant decision to do it as a sprint round final.
I totally agree, yeah, and it gives us 3 races worth of points to hand out, 3 chances for drivers fighting for the championship. I think it's fantastic, and you know, that short, sharp, frenetic activity, that frenetic racing really suits the character of a championship finale. It's fantastic. And who's going to come out on top after tonight's racing? Well, one thing's for sure you can say is that they've deserved it, because all season long between Andaluti, Vasquez, Davidson, they've all had their time in the sun, but on the score sheet so evenly matched. And like I say, I think it was Vasquez that said it in the virtual paddock last week. He said, you know, it's now may the best man win. Game on.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be an intriguing one, and yeah, clarification. Christoph Kreckers has held his hand up and said, "Yeah, completely forgot to serve my penalty." So you know, he's admitted, "Yeah, no, I've missed out on that one." But if you're Alex Davidson and Leandro Andaluti right now, how are the nerves? How do you think that they're coping with that, or is it just pure focus right now?
Hard to say, really. Hard to say. I mean, I think Andaluti will be feeling good after that win. Davidson maybe a little bit more on the nervy side because of something that happened in race 1 there with Vasquez, which really he couldn't have done an awful lot about. He held his line. Vasquez went by him and didn't chop across, but wasn't much room for Davidson to do much else. So I think that will just be a little bit of a nasty reminder of how it can turn very quickly. And the Ruti, on the other hand, he kind of had that comfortable cruise out front, or it certainly looked that way. So I think Anderuti will come into this race with a lot of confidence, but being able to do that and avoid all of the carnage, that's something that's going to be a big worry for both of them.
Yeah, avoidance techniques is certainly good, a way of saying that got to keep out of trouble, but it's those drivers who know how to work their way through a field is really what sets people apart and gives them a championship opportunity. Well, we are coming towards the end of the free practice session. That's before the start of the start of this next race of the day. So we will be getting set for that race, and well, we are going to have an absolute cracker here. I can tell you that it is Tim Perry and Ross McFarlane who will be sharing the front row of the grid. Those two are there on that front row with Daniel Sedgley and Sophia Ridpath, the two teammates on row number 2. Row 3 for Ethan Critchley and Jack Osborne. Fourth row of the grid for Locatello and Vasquez. How does Aaron go out there? Well, we'll have to wait and see. Daniel Handover and Fabio Unvadros on row number 5. Row 6, Milan Takens and Hunter McDaniel. Seventh row of the grid for Tom Brown and Philip Koenig with James Guamy, Bume and Lucas Prada on row number 8. Row 9 for Jack Sedgwick and Christoph Krekas. 10th row of the grid for Alex Davidson and Marvin Lesmallman. There's your race winners though on the 11th row. Leandro Anderuti, championship leader. What can he do there? Simner and Armstrong then on row number 12. Rest of your field will be going through your screen right now on the grid. Peter, Alan Vasquez, can he do it, or is Ross McFarlane going to be pulling away early doors? Or is Tim Perry going to pull it out because he has won races in the past?
Hard to say. I think it's going to be difficult to keep McFarlane at bay, but we've seen Aaron Vasquez have times in recent rounds where he's been imperious and he's had that real outstanding pace like Anderuti had in race 1, so don't write him off, but this is very much advantage McFarlane with his front row start.
Yep, front row start really does help him out here in this race. Well, this is race number 2 of the evening. It is the final week of competition here in season 13 of the World GT Championship, and they're going to be coming through the final corner now, and Tim Perry's going to get on the loud pedal in his Ferrari. It's an all Ferrari front row. Perry leading away McFarlane as they come out that final corner. Green flag in the air here in this race of the World GT Championship. Through turn 1 they all go. And how do they all go? Well, they're fanning out into 2, 3 wide further back. McFarlane to the lead though, ahead of Perry. It's happened on turn number 2. McFarlane now wants to run away at the front, and they're dragging along with them Ridpath, Critchley. Sedgley's fallen down a couple of places, and Vasquez already gained 2 places in the early going of this race as they head into the hairpin for the first time. Vasquez lining up Daniel Sedgley, one of your Pro-Am Championship contenders. Into the hairpin they go. And Vasquez moving through the field. Oh, there's a car off. That's Prada. Prada in that BMW, in the Mercedes. Around he goes, and they're back to going in the right direction. Jack Sedgwick has dropped down as well in all of that. Anderuti and Davidson, they're absolutely neck and neck in 17th and 18th places.
Aaron Vasquez made a very good start to that race there, but McFarlane even better, and McFarlane now could be really dangerous. Just whoa! It's the Pearson Ferrari of Davidson getting absolutely squeezed, big still there by James Armstrong. I tell you what, getting a punch up with someone with a championship on the line at your peril, James. Goodness me. That was really quite fierce there as well. Anderuti's watching all of this going, I might just take a breath here and see what goes on.
Well, that's it. I mean, we've seen Armstrong in the past be very, very strong with his defensive driving out there, and Davidson will be thinking, oh, please don't take me out of this one, as we are back to the front of the field. Vasquez up to 4th place now. Locatello's just made the move on Daniel Sedgley, and we had a mechanical meatball flag for Christoph Krekas, so got involved in incidents early on, has been down onto pit road to get their free repair. Now Vasquez going to try and make it 2 for 1 here into the hairpin. Not quite, but they're side by side in front of him, Perry and Critchley. Does he have a look on the inside? No, not quite.
Well, he might have a bit of a run though on Tim Perry here, does Vasquez, but he's going to have to try and manufacture something to get the move. Perry goes to cover it on the inside, then just leaves the door open, and Vasquez takes it straight away. You don't need to invite him twice, so he takes his eye now. Then what, Vasquez is not going to find it easy to get by Ethan Critchley. Oh, Locatello off the road. I don't think Vasquez is going to find it easy to get past Ethan Critchley. We know how quick he can be able to stay. Oh, more crashers behind. Oh dear, bit of a mess there in the middle part of the circuit.
I think Ben Gregory was involved in that. That's not for the first time. And do you know who else was around that position? It was Adam Watson as well, was around that sort of area. That is Locatello making the move, and it's just a tap on the inside. It all checks up. Everybody makes it through. And then, as I say, Ben Gregory... Oh, Paddy Faulkner has stopped out on track. Oh, as has the aforementioned Adam Watson. Paul Crawford has taken a tour back to pit road, so it's got a bit messy down towards the rear of the grid. 4 drivers with meatball flags now. Crawford, Grosgrove, Watson and Faulkner. Paddy Faulkner's had a nightmare of a round. Out on lap number 1 of the last race. Lap number 2 for this race as Armstrong and Bume are switching places further down. Where do you look, Peter?
Well, I'm looking at the timing screen right now because Ethan Critchley has just set the fastest lap of the race, 0.005 of a second quicker than Aaron Vasquez last time. So we mentioned it, how hard it would be to get by Ethan Critchley. That's the challenge that Vasquez has got right now. And up at the front, Ross McFarlane did exactly the same lap time as Critchley, but perhaps broke track limits during that lap. So Critchley very much running the pace of these leaders right now. Is Anderuti in the black Porsche trying to find a way through, but it's very busy there in that midfield. He's actually trying to get past Lamborghini Super Trofeo racer Milan Tekens in the Hissing Sid Audi.
And Tekens is getting a very defensive display on right there. Alex Davidson will be loving this because he's pulling away from Anderuti. Try as he may, Leandro Anderuti cannot get past him, and he's got Tristan Iglesias right behind him as well. Oh, dive to the inside. That Porsche's good on the brakes and gets that job done authoritatively.
Yeah, that's definitely the strongest attribute of that Porsche 911 GT3R is the braking, and Anderuti using it to full effect there and getting the move done on Milan Tekens. So, big move up the inside there from Fabio Unverdrus on Sophia Ridpath, who's running second in AM at the moment. Oh, Perry goes a little bit wide there on the exit of turn 3. But at the front, Aaron Vasquez, well, he cannot get by Ethan Critchley, and all the while, Ross McFarlane is threatening to pull away, but actually, as Vasquez makes his move, last time by he was 0.2 of a second quicker than Critchley, but now he gets the move done. But I do think Vasquez has maybe got a couple of tenths in his pocket on McFarlane, but he's got to deploy that pace now.
Yeah, he has to move forward. Iglesias was trying to have a look at Anderuti. Vasquez has just got one target now, and that's to try and win these 2 races. That's all he can do, really, to try and have any hope of getting somehow clawing back some points in the championship. Anderuti's going to go around the outside of the BMW. Good luck with that one, because that is a big old machine, is that one. Into the hairpin, nicely done. Camber to your favour, so knew that he had the corner camber helping him out as he breaks into there, and well, Iglesias just follows through. But Armstrong to be able to get Bume between himself and Anderuti, so that's going to help Alex in his championship charge. Wow, this is action aplenty here in the World GT Championship. Ross McFarlane leads for Aaron Vasquez. Ethan Critchley's your top Pro-Am driver in 3rd place, ahead of the 2nd place Pro-Am driver of Tim Perry in 4th. Jack Osborne is your top AM driver in 5th place here. Sophia Ridpath is the next best am in 8th here in this race as we're heading towards the midpoint of this second race of the evening. Everybody's just getting themselves sort of spread out a little bit now, Peter, and this is where if you're trying to make some moves through the field, it gets a bit harder. Oh, that is it. Sitka wiped out at the hairpin, and Alex Davidson is a big winner out of that one.
Yeah, he certainly was. A lot of cars screaming through there as well. It seems like our championship contenders got through clean. We'll get another look at that one. So, car 33, Sophia Ridpath, just had absolutely zero luck this season. And let's see what happens here. It's one of the German sim. No, it was Kareke's dive bombs up the inside, catches his teammate, Hunter McDonald, excuse me. Dive bombs his teammate, hits his teammate, and then takes poor old Sophia with him. That was just an overall a bit of a mess, unfortunately. Oh, from downtown. Oh my goodness me. Oh, that's awkward.
That's going to be an uncomfortable team room. That is really going to be an uncomfortable team room. But yeah, I was saying, Alex Davidson really benefited out of that one, up to 10th place now, whereas Anderuti is still, well, he's just moved up now, up into 13th as Anderuti. Oh, that's a move at turn number 1. That's rarely seen, is that, because it is such a one-line corner through there.
Yeah, we don't see it often, do we? Definitely not. It's a little bit of battle scarring there to Tristan Iglesias' Altus Audi, but he gets by Milan taken for now, who's not letting him get away and wanting to stay really close and cosy to pick up a bit of a draft as they're going right down towards very, very tight Spitzkehre. They're very, very tight hairpin here, but Iglesias defends it just enough, and actually, while Takins was a little bit preoccupied there, that allowed Justin Claessens to try and make a move, but doesn't quite get it complete. In fact, Takins goes for the move again and runs it in a bit too deep.
I'll tell you what, Milan, good result in that first race to get I think that was one of the few finishes that he's been able to accomplish since he joined the championship late on in the season. So he's been getting to grips with this championship, and now he's really starting to throw some moves out there, isn't it, Milan? Oh
yeah, absolutely. That's the one thing you'll see drivers with real-world racing experience. They see moves differently. They attack in a different way, and it really does show in the racing. So just under 10 minutes to go then, and Vasquez, he is pulling time out of Ross McFarlane, but such minuscule amounts per lap. He's only pulled out a couple of tenths out of Ross McFarlane in the last 4 laps. So McFarlane is managing this gap very, very well, and it just shows you that front row and getting clear after those first few corners was critical to keeping that advantage.
Down towards the hairpin again, then defensive move early into the hairpin. Can they get the move done around the outside for Jack Osborne on Tim Perry? And well, Hunter McDaniel goes, oh, that's a freebie, thank you very much, as he goes down the inside of the hairpin, and that will allow Osborne to lose the place on McDaniel. And McDaniel's been slowly moving forward in this one now. Tom Brown's going to follow through and get the place. So Rubber Esports are ganging up on Jack Osborne here, because now there's another one. There's James Armstrong coming up to him here. So yeah, Rubber Esports really giving that Fat Atom race a bit of company.
Yeah, they certainly are. Certainly are. The ARM class at the moment being dominated at the moment by Jack Osborne in 8th place. As we mentioned, that class very much sealed up in terms of the win. However, Osborne and Ridpath just 20 points apart when they came into this meeting. So Osborne in line to score a big chunk of points and potentially put himself clear in that second place fight in AM.
Drivers getting themselves towards the end of this race. There's a look to the inside of 2 from James Armstrong. The Brabham Esports driver forces Osborne wide, and here comes Alex Davidson championship contender in Pro, trying to move forward, and he's done a really good job of it. That's now 16 places gained for James Armstrong, 10 for Alex Davidson. Davidson's on the charge forward here, and he's not done yet. He's looking to the inside of Armstrong at the hairpin. It's all getting a bit tight because in front of them as well, you've got the car of Tim Perry trying to hold off onto McDaniel as well. So there's some flash of the headlights. I don't think James Armstrong appreciated the move from Alex Davidson. And look, around the outside, where do you look in all of this? It's fantastic stuff.
Oof, yeah, so Armstrong gets the move back done on Davidson there as well, but Davidson pops out to have a little look to see if he can retaliate, but no. So Armstrong just fighting every position, tooth and nail here as well, trying to get the best result on the board that he can. And at the back of this kind of train, Anderutti's kind of stuck there behind two Audis. He's stuck behind Buemi and Koenig. In fact, he's actually just got by. Just there has got by Buemi as we mentioned that, so just gets the move done. Now, is that going to allow him to try and follow the lead group? He's got a few car lengths to make up there to Koenig up ahead. But yeah, very, very tough for these championship contenders to get through the field as they get quicker and quicker.
Alex Davidson, the last thing Alex Davidson can do is get himself involved in somebody else's incident or start tripping over somebody who's overly aggressively defending him, as there is Davidson making his way past Tim Perry. Here's Philip Koenig, and look at that, James Armstrong straight on the defensive. He knows that he's under pressure from Alex Davidson behind. He doesn't want Davidson to go by. Just slotting in front of Tim Perry there. That was almost a quarter panel then.
Yeah, every move comes with risk, and managing that risk and the potential reward. And Davidson is, I think it must be said, has done a very good job in this race of making his way through. As has Anderutti, it must be said. Anderutti managing that very, very well. He's going to make his own move here. He's going to try and get by Tim Perry into the fast Mobil 1 curve and gets it done. So now, critically, the next car ahead of championship leader Leandro Anderutti is his nearest rival, Alex Davidson. And I think at the start of this race, if you said to Anderutti, you'll finish directly behind Davidson with a good chunk of points, I think he would take it.
You'd snap your arm off of that one, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
by all means, yes, please. It was the move from Philip Koenig on Tim Perry. Made a mistake. That allowed Anderutti. Oh no! That's Iglesias! Tristan Iglesias! How has he held that? Well, he's parked the car. So, and I know why, because that took him over the instant limit to get him a drive-through penalty, so he's just parked the car. Wow, that was not the championship contender Ana Vasquez getting involved in that one. And we'll stay to live pictures because I can tell you that Jack Osborne's had issues out there as well. This is Iglesias, just the shoulder onto the grass. Now, I wonder if we can stay on those pictures because Jack Osborne, should I say, has had issues out there.
Okay, so number 91 for Fat Atom Racing, Jack Osborne goes to a little bit of a cutback on one of the... Oh, James Armstrong spun in front of him. Oh my goodness me. Oh dear.
He lost it out of 3 and 4. So what's happened to Armstrong? He was with another car. Who was Armstrong with? And if that was Alex Davidson, and there's been contact between the two of them, that could be additional drama.
Well,
we need to see what happened. Here we go, Peter.
Oh, so Davidson right behind, and I think Armstrong's going to lose it on his own. He does. He loses it on his own. So, and poor old Jack Osborne had nowhere to go. That does mean Sophia Redpath, if there's anyone who's had no luck this season, it's been Sophia Redpath. It's maybe a little bit of fortune falling her way in a strange way. She's up into the AM lead now in 17th, so could potentially move by Osborne for second place in the AM Championship. That's going to go down to the wire. Well. What it does mean is all this attrition Paul, it's just bad news for Aaron Vasquez, because Davidson and Anderuti, with everything that happens like that, they just move up another position, and Vasquez mathematically could be very, very unlikely to mount any challenge in race 3 now.
I think definitely this would be the end of Aaron Vasquez's championship hunt. I do think that would be the end of his jaunt at the championship, and the thing is, he can hold his head high with how this championship has gone for him, because he has done a sensational job for his first season in the series. It's not the easiest of championships to be able to be involved in, and that's Les Smallman. Yes, it is. Praga. Lucas Prada involved in that incident as well, and I think that's going to be game over. Well, let's have a look, Peter, what happened here.
Okay, so Prada is behind Les Bowman, and Les Bowman going absolutely flat out then in towards the sort of stadium section, and I'm not entirely sure what Les Bowman was sort of planning on there, if there was a great deal of planning involved, but it seems like regardless he wasn't going to... I don't think he was ever getting stopped for that corner anyway. Do you know, that gives me a horrible throwback to horrible memory.
DTM?
Yes, exactly. One of the most horror crashes you'll ever see. Thomas Preining and Dennis Olsen, and luckily both drivers walked out of it, and they've actually restored that car,
really?
Team 75 Bernard, in the Porsche Museum. Yeah, it was Porsche's first ever DTM car and DTM race winner, and it's been restored and added to the museum collection. A huge testament to the safety.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
not of the circuit, I might add.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that incident, I had those flashbacks as well. Peter, I do remember that incident just a couple of years ago. Was that
last season? Yeah,
last season. Yeah. Right, well, we've got 43 seconds remaining in this race, and it's Ross McFarlane from Aaron Vasquez at the front. Vasquez has been doing a really good job of hunting down Ross, because Ross is no slouch in this series. He's a full-time champion for a reason. But Aaron Vasquez has just been closing down that gap lap after lap, and I think he's about, 3 laps too short for him to make a challenge here, isn't he?
He's certainly been throwing everything at it. It's been a relentless pace from Aaron Vasquez, and I think Ross McFarlane's actually, his pace is just fading a little bit in this last part of the race. Is that a tyre thing? Could be. But yeah, McFarlane seems to, late race pace doesn't seem to be as strong as Aaron Vasquez is. But as usual, McFarlane managing the situation very, very well. It appears to have enough of a buffer onto this final lap.
Yeah, we are on that final lap, and well, the leaders are coming through the hairpin right now. The championship competitors of Anderuti and Davidson, they're just coming into the hairpin, and look at that, Alex Davidson doing everything that he can to try and get past James Armstrong. He's caused Armstrong to go deep. Davidson goes through. Anderuti, crucially for Davidson, cannot follow through. So it was Hunter McDaniel, sorry, not Armstrong. So Hunter McDaniel is separating the two championship protagonists there. At this point, Davidson's wide, he's gone deep in the Mercedes arena, but nobody able to take advantage of that as we're heading towards the end of this race, and McDaniel's wanting to try and get back at Davidson, but look forward, because your race leaders are coming through the final couple of corners here, and it's going to be a race win for Ross McFarlane in the final week of this championship. Ross McFarlane takes race win in race 2 of tonight in the World GT Championship. Aaron Vasquez in second place, with Ethan Critchley taking the Pro-Am Championship win there in this final race. And across the line, Davidson and Anderuti absolutely together across the line. Anderuti able to get ahead of McDaniel, and Sophia Ridpath, your top AM here in this race, takes the win. That's 3 AM wins for Sophia in the last 2 weeks, so really good results for her. And look at that, that's how Anderuti did it. right into that last corner, Peter.
That was critical because Davidson had made the move on McDaniel, which would have been a really important little nudge in points there for Davidson. But Anderuti, with that same move, that last corner move, that double right-hander coming through towards Souk Curve, and he's just got that Porsche stopping on its nose. And could that be a championship-winning move for Anderuti? Well, it's certainly going to help.
Well, let's see how that does things for the championship standings, and also for how that does for the race standings after we spin the wheel for the final time this season, and we get to see the final reverse grid draw here in the World GT Championship, and it is going to be... I don't think we've had a full reverse grid all season. It's going to be one less than the last one. 21 places are going to be reversed. And, I will be accused of bias in this commentary booth right now, because that will put Team Mad on the front row of the grid. So, no bias there at all. But Ross McFarlane is the winner here for this second race of the evening for Pure Sims Esports, ahead of Aaron Vazquez. Ethan Critchley, a great drive up into third place for Fat Atom. In the Pro-Am standings, he takes the race win. Fabio Unvadros is in fourth ahead of Tom Brown, second placed Pro-Am in this race ahead of Alex Davidson, Leandro Anderuti, Hunter McDaniel, James Bume, and then Philip Koenig. Then Tim Perry ahead of Clarsons with Daniel Handover, Sophia Ridpath your top Am, Richard Simner and Jack Sedgwick then the next two with Daniel Sedgley. Andy Archer, well, he's won a championship and now he's just having a bit of fun out there. Second place in Am ahead of Sarah Raab. Third place in Am, Maciek Sekovic for Team Mad in 20th place. And then 21st place and on pole position is going to be Mark Woodhouse. Christoph Krekas ahead of Massimo Locatello with Milan Takens, Pete Harrod and Adam Hedgecock with Brian Sohn, Daniel Nault, Ben Gregory and Jack Osborne. Final few cars coming through then. Paddy Faulkner does make it to the end ahead of Lucas Prada, Adam Watson. Cars one lap down, Jonathan Walker and Cody Crosgrove, and then those 2 laps down or more. Les Molman, Armstrong, Iglesias, and then Gooch and Crawford. Well, that's your results from race number 2 of the evening, but, Peter, we have got some championship standings have been updated. The championship standings have been updated. So they've been quick on the mark here of the series admin, so it's good to see for us here in this championship. Leandro Anderuti keeps a 12-point lead over Alex Davidson into this race, into this final race. Aaron Vazquez, to be fair to him, gained a ton of points, 33 points off of the championship leader. Never say never here in the World GT Championship. James Bume, we can confirm, is the Pro-Am champion. And the fight for second place in Am, it's worth pointing out, just 3 points separate Jack Osborne and Sophia Ridpath.
It sets up pretty much a straight fight between them. The difference is that Sophia Ridpath's going to start within that reverse grid draw. She'll start just around the top 10, whereas poor old Jack Osborne, incident not of his own making, nowhere to go, and he will start from 30th. So that is how that sets. So it's a bit of a job there for Jack Osborne. But like you say, anything can happen in this, particularly in these reverse grid. That's quite a big reverse grid draw as well, so there's going to be a lot going on.
Well, I've noticed here as well. Matt Mullen, series admin in the YouTube chat, was calling for a full reverse grid. He wanted the carnage and chaos going into this final race of the season. Richard Simner saying that he's shattered. I'm not surprised. It is an intense track to do racing around here. One more race to go, Peter. 12 points separate the top two. I mean, if you're Anderuti now, you just want to loiter around behind Alex Davidson, really.
If only it were as simple as that. Never is. I think, yeah, you've got to just try and minimise the the risk as best as you can, and he can't let Davidson get out of his sight. That's the thing, is if you go steady and Davidson disappears, then you think, oh, I need to get a move on, and then is it too late by that point? So yeah, all to play for in this finale, and it just takes one tiny little squeeze, one tiny little tip around, and it's all over. You know, we've seen that particularly at the Spitzker, at that hairpin, it's very easy to just get the tiniest tap and you can be turned around. So the drivers, Davidson and the Ruti, are going to be pretty nervous now. I think you asked about nerves before the race too. They're going to be ratcheted up for both drivers now for this finale.
Yeah, it's anxiety. It will build up, and the nerves will build up, and for every move, because of course they're starting in that pack again, for every move that they make and every driver that defends hard, I'm thinking of James Armstrong, you know, every stern defence that they face, they'll be thinking twice about it, won't they, those championship protagonists?
Yeah, and if that's why you kind of have to build up a book in your mind, sometimes even a physical book, to actually build up who drives in what way. You know, everybody, you know, it's a human. This is why things like a robotic race with AI is a stupid idea, because it takes out that human element, which is what we look for in racing, and everybody races in a certain way. That's what these top guys have really got to try and anticipate.
Absolutely. Well, we are just a few moments away from the final race of the season here in the World GT Championship. Stick around, because this one certainly will not be one to miss. We'll be right back after these messages. Welcome back to this, the final round of the World GT Championship here on RaceSpotTV. Paul Smith here along with Peter Mackay, bringing you all the coverage for this final round and this championship deciding round of the World GT Championship. And well, what better place than the Hockenheimring for this championship closing event here, and there certainly has been an intriguing round of the championship. And well, Peter, we've got two drivers separated by 12 points for the Pro Championship.
Well, it's what we've come to see. It's been so tight all season long between Anderuti, Davidson, Vasquez, and we also knew that a 3 sprint races at Hockenheim was going to be a dramatic finish to the season, and it's certainly proven to be so. Who's going to come out on top here? I have absolutely no idea. The one thing is for sure, it's not going to be done until that checkered flag drops.
Yeah, certainly not. It's, I think it could well be decided post-event as well. But we wouldn't want that, but that can be the case, because if you are new to the championship here, there are stewards that look at this post-event, so they're not there to look at things during the championship round. So it just gives drivers the opportunity to be able to get themselves an opportunity to air their grievances. 21 degrees is the track temperature, nice and cool. These drivers will really be able to push these cars in this final round.
They certainly will, and notice there in the virtual paddock that Jack Sedgwick had a little bit of suspension damage, which sent one of his tyre temperatures through the roof to 103. So yes, they were certainly cooking there in the they're certainly cooking there in that race. So yeah, 21 degrees Celsius, absolutely ideal conditions. We could theoretically see some lap times quicker than qualifying here with the way that the track temperature is. Could not be better.
Well, 2 minutes for these drivers to all set themselves and get themselves set for this final round of the championship. And it's not just pro, I mean, we will be sort of heavily focusing on that pro battle, but it's that second place race as well that's been bubbling up. The run of form at Sophia Ridpath, as I said in that at the end of that last race, that's now 3 wins in the last 4 races. A really good run of form for Sophia.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Yes, Jack Osborne definitely had a certain win stripped away from him for a crash in front, but Sophia could probably tell you 10 stories like that from her season. She's just not had the rub of the green. Neither has the driver of the car on screen, Sarah Rabb. Similar kind of run of luck for them, and make no mistake, if we see them back next season, I would think that we'll see them compete for that AM Championship. Just need a little bit better rub of the green and they'll be there.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, we'll sort of keep half an eye on that fight for that championship positions towards the end there, with Sarah Rabb in that BMW. Has certainly been, I mean, she joined the series last season in that very distinctive livery BMW, and she's carried on this season, so fair play. I know how hard it can be if you're getting caught up in incidents week after week, just how demoralising it can be for yourself to be able to just keep going. It's that commitment to keep going, which is a really strong quality in some people, and to keep the head down and eventually see that improvement pay off.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The drivers just getting a very important look at the track conditions here. They have changed quite a bit from race number 1. Much cooler. So they have to adjust to that.
They certainly do, but we will be getting set then for the final race of the World GT Championship Season 13. Who can believe we're already at Season 13 of this season? It's been absolutely tremendous to bring you this each and every week on the RaceSpotTV, and let's take you through your grid, your final time, and it is an all-team mad front row. Very happy Yorkshireman right here on the front row with Matt Woodhouse and Magic Sakovic. Then Sarah Rabb, Andy Archer on row number 2 with Daniel Sedgley and Jack Sedgwick on row number 3. Fourth row for Simner and Ridpath with Handover and Clarsons, Tim Perry and Philip Koenig ran out row number 6. Seventh row for James Bume and Hunter McDaniel with Leandro Andaruti, championship leader, alongside Alex Davidson, his competitor. Tom Brown and Fabio Unvadrus then on the next row of the grid. Ethan Critchley and Alan Vasquez. And on the 10th row of the grid, Ross McFarlane, Christoph Karekis, Massimo Locatello and Milan Takens. Pete Harrod and Adam Hedgecock with Brian Sohn and Daniel Nault. 15th row for Ben Gregory and Jack Osborne. Paddy Faulkner, Lucas Prada on the next row with Adam Watson, Jonathan Walker. Cody Grosgrove will be all on their own on that row because Marvin Lesmorman is not taking the grid for the final round. The final few drivers, James Armstrong, Chris Gooch and Paul Crawford. So here we go then, the final round of Season 13 of the World GT Championship. You can guarantee that both Matt Woodhouse and Maciej Sakovic on the front row of the grid will be talking to each other, making sure that they get the best launch possible. But one of our championship contenders, well, Anderuti's 15th, Davidson 16th. Anderuti just needs to finish in and around Davidson. Davidson needs something to happen to Anderuti here. But as we go through the final corner, it's going to be green flag in the air for the final time this season. Cross the line, they all go together then. Cold tyres, not forgetting. The Lamborghini's not been the favoured car here this round of the championship, and already Sarah Raab is looking to make some moves. A big wild pack of GT3s heading down towards turn number 2. Will they keep it all nice and clean? Well, they're working their way through. So far, so good out there on track. And Anderuti already has gained a place in this race. Davidson's gained 4 places. He's on a charge.
Well, he's got to throw everything at it. It has Alex Davidson. It really is go for it, all or nothing. Tell you what, though, Jack Sedgwick is going to be the danger man here as Sarah Raab tries to make a move on Mark Woodhouse, but can't quite get it complete as there's a little bit of smoke in the background, a little bit of contact, I think, there, but Sedgwick definitely the danger man in the Ferrari, the pro driver already up and fighting for the podium at this very early stage.
Sakovic trying to hold the inside on Sarah Raab. Sedgwick's got nowhere to go in all of this in his Ferrari. We've got Lamborghini, BMW, Ferrari. Oh, cutting off the nose. Oh, don't have an accident, fellas. Keep it all nice and clean as they head on into the hairpin.
Vasquez is off.
And Vasquez has had issues. Vasquez has had issues, major issues. He's out of this one. It was pretty much game over after race 1, but look at this lead battle right now, because across the line they go. It's going to be Woodhouse from Sakovic, from Sedgwick. Jack Sedgwick up to 3rd place right now. Alex Davidson in 12th, and here's what happened to Vasquez.
So it's the number, oh, huge spin there for one of the altitude Audis. I think it was Adam Watson, excuse me, lost it coming out of the corner. Nothing much Vasquez could do, and bang, game over. And Aaron Vasquez's challenge for the World GT Championship, it's been a valiant charge, but comes up just short on the final round.
Yeah, as we go through then, so Sophia Ridpath battling it out with Sarah Raab in towards the hairpin, the 2 BMWs. Sedgwick is battling with Maciej Sakovic. Into the hairpin they go. Ridpath gets ahead of Raab. There's a bit of a rub between the Brabham Esports Hissing Sid car and Raab, and down through the middle of them, that's Andy Archie, AM champion. He's trying to gain a couple of places there. Oh, down the inside of Raab.
Oh, got it up on the curb and then landed it on the side of Sarah Raab's door there. The number 97. Excuse me, the number 55 of Andy Archer for Fat Atom Racing gets the move done. And that's a move for passing class as well, which is led by Maciej Sakovic at the moment.
Yes, Sakovic is the leading AM driver. There's cars dropping down the order. I think there's been an issue. Oh, that's a Brabham Esports car. That's Karekas who's around. Ethan Critchley's gone around now as well. I can see on my timing screen. So drama happening. There's Critchley with a very damaged rear end to his Audi. Not the end to the championship that he would have wanted. Let's just take a little look back then, see what's been happening here. Critchley tried to go around the outside of Sats curve. That's not usually a move that can happen. And, well, there goes the Brabham Esports car, and then bang into the back of him, the number 4. That's Fabio Umvedros.
Yeah, it looked like Ethan Critchley had got that made that move, really worked well at the Sachs curve and went round the outside. And just got nudged there by Umvedros. Sedgwick to the lead, not a surprise. He's got the fastest lap of the race so far, so the Pro Class Ferrari driver you would expect will be able to pull away here to a commanding lead. He's just got so much speed underneath that number 10 car, and he leads the Pro Class by 8 positions. The nearest Pro driver is Hunter McDaniel in 9th.
And Alex Davidson, Leandro Anderuti 10th and 11th. Leandro Anderuti from Switzerland is doing everything that he needs to do right now. Just shadow Alex Davidson. Davidson has had a tremendous start to this race, absolutely got a killer launch, and then there's just been moving forward. He's gained 6 places, but Anderuti has been right there with him, shadowing him, and got to say, fair play to the privateer. He's not done it easy in this championship as we keep an eye on the race for the leaders. In fact, we'll look a little bit back. That's Daniel Sedgley now under pressure from Davidson, and here comes Anderuti. He doesn't need to do this move, but he wants to do it on Alex Davidson. He's got the move done. Anderuti, a championship leader, is ahead of the man in second place of Alex Davidson.
Wow, Leandro Anderuti, just look at the confidence there on the front end of that car, and makes the move look easy on Daniel Sedgley. I can assure you it's not. This is vintage Leandro Anderuti. Cometh the man, cometh the hour, and he has really performed when it's mattered tonight here at Hockenheim, and just fantastic to watch. Just got such, when he's driving at his best, he's just got absolutely unshakable belief in what he and the car can do. Davidson goes through with him though as well, so he can match Anderuti with every move, but Anderuti just drives with such swagger and confidence. It's brilliant to watch.
If you do want to find out where everybody is in this race, RaceSpot.tv/timing. If you want to keep up to date with everything going on here, and Sedgley is losing the position to Richard Simner, who now puts himself in 3rd place in Pro-Am in that DCW racing car. As they head on through, Lucas Prada running wide through the exit there of turn 10. The background is shot, but it is Sedgwick who's in the lead of this one. Daniel Sedgley is having a bit of a mare at the moment. He's fallen back down the field, and he's under pressure now. But yeah, it's Sedgwick who leads this race ahead of Woodhouse and Sakovic, your 2 front row starters. Still up there in the top 3. And Dave Crozier, if he's the team boss of Team Mad, if he's watching this one, he'll be delighted with that right now. Daniel Handover, though, is going to be putting pressure on Maciej Sakovic because he's just moved up into 4th place in that Brabham Esports Hissing Sid car ahead of Sophia Ridpath in the Platinum Racing Team car, the BMW, in 5th place. Little move to the inside, and can Unvadrus get that one done? Trying the best. Sedgley's going to try and hold that one out. Behind them, a little bit of a rub there. Behind them, they've got Ross McFarlane and Lucas Prada.
Yeah, 2 real piranhas there behind. You've got to be careful for that. Oh, that's a late move. Very late move there from Fabio Unvadrus, and then crowds over in the braking zone. It's right up to the edge of acceptability for me. Very overly aggressive. But the battle rages on the mid-pack here with number 64 Hunter McDaniel going by Sarah Rabb, and Anderuti makes a move then on Rabb, but does Davidson get through? No, and Rabb actually puts Anderuti out wide. Respecter of no egos, and Davidson goes by Anderuti and goes by Rabb, and Anderuti's going to have to go there. Oh, be careful. Oh, you don't want to pick up that penalty and change the championship picture.
Heart in mouth.
So heart in mouth, yeah, exactly. Oh my word.
I was holding my breath at that point, let alone what Anderuti must have been thinking. But yeah, you're absolutely right though. No respecter of egos for Sarah Rabb, but quite right. She's fighting for a position. She's fighting for championship points here. So too right. You find yourself up in the top 10. You want to get the best result possible as an AM.
Yeah, no question. No question about it. And yeah, and I think she's probably had quite enough of being bullied by some of the Pro-Am or Pro guys coming through. Late move there from number 66, Justin Claessens. Oh dear. So, yeah, there's several German sim racing cars getting into incidents today at their team's home race at Hockenheim. It's not been a night to write home about, unfortunately.
do you ever get the feeling that this has definitely got a last day at school vibe?
Oh yeah.
This final race. They're just all knocking 7 bells out of each other. They don't care about the paperwork because it's getting retired at the end of this race. It's still Cedric from Woodhouse. Handover didn't make it past Sakovic. In fact, Ridpath has taken the AM lead over Sakovic as well. So it's the top 3 in AM are 4th, 5th and 6th right now. Andy Archer, your champion, he is in 6th place overall, so he's wanting to get himself a podium to finish off his championship season. Absolute dominant display from Andy Archer in AM as well. Handover making the move on Mark Woodhouse. Down the inside, Woodhouse holds it, but Handover around the outside, sweeps round through the sud curve, gets the job done into 2nd place.
Yeah, and that's the lead in Pro-Am as well. Daniel Handover made that look fairly straightforward. It looks like he's got really good grip underneath that ram of his centre. Oh no. Oh, Mark. Oh, do you know what, Paul? I was really enjoying seeing Mark fighting up at the front after a rotten season. I thought, finally, here we go. And it all goes to pot.
Well, the question is, was it his own fault or was he pushed? I think we're about to find out. Turn 1, carry the speed in. Oh yeah, carry the speed, too much speed in.
Yeah, we've seen. I think we'll see Mark Woodhouse in a different car next year. For whatever reason, he has just not gelled with that Lamborghini and put the drives in that we know he can do. It just hasn't clicked for some reason.
Ross McFarlane is involved in this little bit of a kerfuffle in the bottom end of or in the teens, should we say. It's a really tight pack as this lot now. Richard Simner has got nowhere to go with Fabio Unverdrus alongside him. And look behind, because you've got McFarlane, you've got Milan Terkans, you've got Lucas Prada, Locatello. Oh, McFarlane's been punted again! Oh, and there goes Simner as well! Oh my goodness, that's the corner that McFarlane went off in race number 1, and he's off again in race number 3.
Oh dear, there was a lot of cars involved there as well, just at the point where you don't want to lose it, tipping it into the fast right-hander of Hobel 1 curve, and McFarlane waits for his opportunity to get back onto the circuit. Let's try and dissect this then, as, he gets a help from behind, big help from behind, and then the Tekans.
And the 11 was involved, Locatello as well was involved in that one. I think if there were subtitles to Ross McFarlane's team radio right now, it'd just say Scottish noises.
Angry Scottish noises. To be very fair to Milan Tekans there, it was a real guddle. There was a real muddle of cars, varying paces, and it just all checked up. Certainly not anything malicious there, but you have to anticipate that check-up though at the same time.
And that's where the lack of experience in this championship comes to show, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why it does take an adjustment coming from the real world outdoor racing to the virtual form. Every driver with real world experience or not goes through it to get adjust to how racing goes, and only the real world drivers who really fully commit to the simulator and on it all the time kind of are able to adjust from discipline to discipline. It's like going from a rally car to rally cross. There are transferables, sure, but there are enough differences where you really have to put a different cassette in your brain.
Jack Osborne has had issues out there and has dropped down the order to 25th. He was in 20th place, so he's had an issue out there, and that's not going to help him in the AM Championship, because he came in 3 points ahead of Sofia Ridpath in the AM Championship for 2nd place. Maciej Sakovic was only about 22 points back from Osborne as well, so if Sakovic can keep where he is, he could end up being 3rd place in AM.
Could well be, yeah, it could well be. So, yeah, it just shows you how, particularly in the AM classes, the swings in points are just so much more dramatic. It really does reward consistency, actually, in getting the cars to the finish. in AM. It's usually the driver who wins AM is not a kind of win one where you can crash the next. It's normally solid points finishes that get the job done in that class. At the front, Jack Cedric getting the job done with a 3-second lead over Daniel Handover, who's had a super drive, and Sakovic turned around.
Sakovic was in such a good place. And he's going to be careful. Yeah, he's trying to keep it out of the way of people on the rejoin. But that was Anderuti and Davidson, and Anderuti has got back past Alex Davidson. Let's have a look then what happened here down into the Mercedes Arena. Sakovic is always going to be slower. He's clipped the curb. And Davidson's just got into the back of him because he's just that little bit slower on corner exits, isn't he?
Yeah, that's going to be frustrating for Davidson as well. Oh dear. Yeah, and very frustrating for Davidson as well. Big bars there with the recovering number 44 Aaron Vazquez. Fair play to Aaron Vazquez, who's kept going and gone to a big respect for that. Championship is definitely done, but he's kept going. I love that tenacity. Big top marks for me. And Davidson, that little bit of contact, not a great deal he could have done to avoid it, and he's going to have that incident point hanging over his head, and of course Anderuti getting by. So with 4.5 minutes to go, tell you what, Paul, Anderuti's got it in the palm of his hands, but it can slip through at any moment. But looking good for now.
I can tell you actually in session that there is a driver who's just been given a drive-through penalty, and that's Richard Simner for accumulation of instant points. So that's 18 instant points is the limit in a 20-minute race here in the World GT Championship. So Simner is the first to get a drive-through penalty, and I have a feeling that he won't be the last with how this final race has gone.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just under 4 minutes to go here, and Sophia Ridpath not only in position for an AM win, but if she can hold off Hunter McDaniel for a couple of laps, she will get an overall podium. What a way to sign off the season that would be.
We've seen how difficult it is to hold back Hunter McDaniel. McDaniel has been very, very aggressive this last couple of rounds of the championship, and he will be trying his best to move forward and try to get himself a podium for Brabham Esports. Go through turn number 2 as time is running out. 3 minutes just over remaining in this race. It is still Sedgwick who's in the lead, ahead of Daniel Handover, as you mentioned. Sophia Ridpath in 3rd place, but has got the attentions of Hunter McDaniel and Leandro Anderuti. Your championship leader in Pro, Fabio Unvadrus, is out of the race, taking a tour to the pit lane. Might have something to do with having a drive-through penalty for instant points. Would be the second person to get a drive-through penalty in this race. So, it's been a messy one as this final race, I think it's fair to say. There goes McDaniel to the inside. Well, I think Ridpath was just determined to give as much space as possible then.
Yeah, and then converged back with Anderuti getting through, but that's very smart from Sophia Ridpath there as well. Just lets the pro drivers through. Her battle is not with them, rather than getting kind of forced off the road or whatever. Keep that AM lead. Still got a 4-second gap back to Andy Archer, second in class. So for Ridpath, has proven what we've said these last few rounds. When things do go her way, she has championship winning pace in the AM category, and she's proven that time and time again in this last quarter of the season.
Yeah, she certainly has done a fantastic job in AM, and so especially this last few rounds, and if she ends up getting yet another win here in AM, that would be...
slow down for Davidson.
That's going to hurt. I think Davidson realises that the championship is out of his reach now, with Anderuti being ahead, but that'll hurt still. Yeah,
that's just one extra nail driven into the coffin. Davidson has just been so good all season long. As Anderuti stuffs it up the inside there of McDaniel. Picking a fight, do you need to pick this fight with under McDaniel? It's just all risk, no reward here for Anderuti, but we kind of know, don't we, Paul, that he has one switch. Anderuti has full attack or nothing. And yeah, McDaniel covering his position, and Anderuti, he just can't help himself. He's got to go for a race. He wants to win the championship with a big exclamation mark, capital letters, underline, and that's what he's doing.
What a champion's drive. And that is a champion's move right there, the confidence that he has there. Well, this is Jack Sedgwick, your race leader. We should get one more lap in this race as he comes through the final corner at Sud Curve. But Anderuti, what a move that was, around the outside, getting the inside 4 turns 9 and 10. Great stuff to see here, and I am glad to see that he is still racing in this one and is not playing the percentages, because that's what he's been. We'll remember back a couple of seasons ago when he was pretty much the wild man at the front of the field, wasn't he, Leandro? He's really sort of got to grips with himself, got the points in the bag and been consistent. I've seen that odd wild moment, haven't we though, Peter, but it's been a great drive from Leandro.
Oh, he's been the full package. You're absolutely right, Paul. He's come back as the full package for the championship, and isn't it amazing that we're going to see a privateer win the World GT Championship? I'm not sure if that's been done before, and what a drive it's been. He's had no allies out there, certainly not officially. And he's had to do it all on his own, and he's done it in a car which nobody else has been able to make work. So this is, for me, this is one of the best World GT Championship wins we've ever seen, in the way he's gone about it, the machine, being a privateer, everything. And when it's come down to it, in this 3-race finale, he's put together 3 flawless performances. All we can say is doff a cap to Leandro Anderuti. 3 or 4 corners to go.
Yeah, absolutely, but we look even further forward, because your race leader, Jack Sedgwick, for Inex Racing, has just got one more turn to go, and he will be a race winner here in the final race of Season 13 of the World GT Championship. He takes the checkered flag, but we look back, because Leandro Anderuti is your Pro Drivers Champion here in the World GT Championship.
Fully deserved, and getting confirmation as well. It is the first ever privateer to win the World GT Championship. Congratulations, Leandro Anderuti, and he really was sublime. Your AM champion Andy Archer comes over the line, confirmed there as well, and another AM class win for Sophia Ridpath, 5th overall. Superb.
That was brilliant stuff from Sophia to be able to hang on and to get that. James Bume, by the way, he is still out there. There he is. He is going to be your Pro-Am champion. He was confirmed pretty much after race number 2 of this evening, and this is just to finish things off. It didn't all go swimmingly on lap 1, but Anderuti, you can see flash of the headlights, be delighted with that. As I say, a couple of seasons ago, he was the wild man of the series and was getting involved in silly incidents. But this season has been the total package and has done an absolutely sensational job. James Bume is going to be coming through the final corner now, and he will be crossing the line, the last runner, and he is your Pro-Am champion here in the World GT Championship. Wow, what a season. There is Andy Archer, your AM champion. He's delighted as well. And simply one of the best championships this season has ever seen. Quite frankly, Peter, I completely agree with you on that.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we've never seen the Pro Championship go down to the wire as close as that. It required a really special driver to come out on top, and Leandro Anderuti showed just how special he is in this season finale here at Hockenheim. Well,
let's give you your final race results. Remember, of course, that All results are provisional pending stewards review post-event. But it is Jack Sedgwick who wins that one. I don't think he'll have anything to worry about up there at the front. Won by just under 4 seconds ahead of Daniel Handover, who was the top Pro-Am in this particular race for Brabham Esports Hissing Sid. Leandro Andanuti finishes third and secures himself a championship here in the World GT Championship ahead of Hunter McDaniel. Sophia Ridpath, what a final couple of rounds of the championship for her. That's another AM win for the Platinum Racing Team driver. 4 out of the last 5 races she has won AM. Alex Davidson tried his best in that Pure Sims Esports outfit, finishes in 6th ahead of Philip Koenig. Andy Archer finishes 2nd place in AM, but more importantly is champion for Fat Atom. Justin Clarson's in 9th ahead of Lucas Prada, rounding out your top 10. 11th place for Daniel Sedgley ahead of Sarah Raab, getting herself a podium place here in AM in this final race of the season. Tim Perry, Tom Brown, Matt Woodhouse will be disappointed with how that race went after being up towards the front. Adam Hedgecock ahead of Pete Harrod, Massimo Locatello, Jonathan Walker and Adam Watson rounds out the top 20. Adam Vasquez, it was that first race incident that cost him, you think, into this race, and well, got involved in somebody else's accident here in this final race of the day. 21st for him, good recovery drive. Paddy Faulkner, Jack Osborne, Maciej Sakovic getting damage to his car, down in 24th place ahead of Ethan Critchley. Ryan Sohn, Ben Gregory, Ross McFarlane, your 4-time champion. Well, it's no longer that case. He has to relinquish the number 1 badge on his car. Richard Simner and James Buemi rounds out your top 30, and of course James Bume does end up winning Pro-Am Championship. Fabio Unvadrus, Chris Gooch, Melan Takens, Cody Crossgrove and Paul Crawford, Daniel Nault, Christoph Krekas and James Armstrong are your 38 competitors in this race. Wow, what a season it has been here today. The season finale today, Peter. It's certainly been a tremendous round of the championship.
It has, and it needed a tremendous drive all meeting long to get the championship, and that's exactly what Leandro Andanuti did to get that job. Great to see in the virtual paddock, a great spirit amongst the paddock, and everyone, wishing congratulations to all our champions. But both Aaron Vasquez and Alex Davidson coming in and saying, well done, Leandro, you deserved it. And it's just that kind of epitomizes the quality of racing we've seen at the front all season long. These pro guys have raced firm, they've raced hard, but fair. Brilliant stuff. A pleasure to watch.
It certainly has. Just to confirm things then, so Leandro Andanuti wins the championship in Pro by 20 points over Alex Davidson, who finishes a further 45 points ahead of Aaron Vasquez, who finishes 3rd in Pro. Still prizes for those top 3, don't forget, in all championships. Pro-Am, wow! So James Bume won the championship by 130 points in the end, but there was a change for 2nd place in that final race. Tom Brown for Brabham Esports Hissing Sid finishes 2nd, 1 point clear of Daniel Sedgley for the Platinum Racing Team. Oh man, Daniel was falling down the order in that last race there, and he'll be really feeling that one. Andy Archer for Fat Atom Racing wins the AM Championship ahead of Sophia Ridpath, who does get 2nd place confirmed for Platinum Racing Team in AM. Jack Osborne, it's been a rough final couple of rounds of the championship, finishing 3rd place, just 25 points clear of Sarah Raab, actually in 4th place, and Maciej Sakovic in 5th. You have Teams Championships, it was confirmed beforehand. Pro Teams Championships were confirmed by Pure Sims Esports. In your AM Championships, it is Fat Atom Racing who win by 68 points over the Platinum Racing Team. But with that all said, Peter, I do believe that we've got the opportunity to speak to our Pro Champion. Take it away, Peter.
Leandro Andanuti, you are the World GT Champion. How does that feel?
Sounds good when you say that, but it was a lot of work, a lot of sketchy moments, especially in the last race, but it was a great season.
It certainly was. I mean, you've been with us in the championship before, but you came back this season as really the complete package. What was it that do you think you've improved on over those last year or twos of racing?
I think I understood the first time I got into the championship that it is important that you have speed, but it's more important to finish. I think this is the main thing you need to be focused on in this championship. If you finish 10th or 11th, it's not that big of a deal as long as you finished.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you. I mean, one thing we've never seen before in this championship, Leandro, is a privateer winning the driver's title. So, congratulations on that. Tell us about your mindset going in as a privateer. All the other guys you're racing against are part of big esports teams. Does that suit your mindset, or how have you found it racing as a privateer?
For me, it was not that big of a problem, and I think the advantage is none of your teammates can take points away from you. So yeah.
We need you to come back with maybe a white car next year or a blue one or something like that. You have to at least change the color next year for the number one plate.
Sadly, I won't be coming back, but yeah, I will be back probably in the when the season that starts in winter. So yeah, see me there.
We certainly hope so. Well, Leandro, it has been a joy to watch you race out there all season long. It's been a fantastic championship battle and you've driven superbly. Congratulations and enjoy the title.
Thank you guys for the good commentary. Always was funny watching back the races.
There we go. That is our pro champion. What we will do right now is we will bring in series admin and well, it's the traditional end of season chat. It's almost like you're Alan Gow, isn't it? You're just with the end of season chat. I mean, how was that, Andy, for a championship finale? I mean, you couldn't have asked for a much closer finish, really, could you?
I guess without sounding quite cliche, are you not entertained? Would be the first question. I mean, for the championship to come down to the last round, with it being so tight throughout, we couldn't ask for anything more. Leandro drove a phenomenal round just down to the last couple of laps with some of those moves, and as you quite rightly pointed out, you know, a championship winning driver right there, just not willing to settle where it was and continually pushing forward. And I think as I mentioned, a deserved champion. Obviously, Aaron and Alex got very close, pushed him all the way. It could have gone either way, anyway, depending on how the reverse grids went, and obviously the instance that then ensued. But you know, what a great championship and what a great race to finish on.
Yeah, absolutely. It was tremendous stuff. But you have to say, 13 seasons now in the books for the World GT Championship. I mean, you think back to what was it, 2016, when
Yeah,
it all
those.
started. Did you ever imagine that it would just keep on growing to the extent that it has done?
I mean, to be honest with you, it's one of those where we set out with a goal to set up a league for friends and to try and have something competitive and keeping it fun and friendly. And in the main, we do keep it that way. It's just grown and grown over the years, and we're very fortunate to have the support of some great sponsors this season, which helped to entice the drivers to come and race, as well as obviously having the mix that we do in terms of formats and the different classes to keep a lot of drivers entertained. This doesn't happen without Freem UK for their generosity over the seasons. Simutech, new to our sponsor list this season, who are putting up a fantastic prize for Leandro. Pure Sims, and of course Mr. Hedge Photography, putting the photos out for us for the series, and of course you guys calling the shots and creating the excitement that is the series. So big thank you from us, and big thank you to our stewards and the respective drivers who've made the championship a great one this season.
I think, to be honest, we've got the easiest job in the house. We just get to sit back and enjoy the entertainment that we see on screen in front of us. But it's a glass of beer time, a bit of a
Certainly
break,
is.
and then you're looking forward to season 14. Is that all the planning already in the back of the mind there?
Yeah, we've been talking about it over the past couple of weeks, we have some ideas on some things we will tweak. This was the first season us using the extreme scoring software across all our series here at WSR, and we've been working with the developers there to create some additional functionality for us. So it allows us to tweak a few things going into season 14 and season 4 on the touring cars. So we're excited at some of the options that now gives us to further enhance and bring more the realism to the sim. Obviously, we've been limited to some degree with how points and penalties are somewhat administered, but with the continuing development that we have with our partners at Extreme, we're really allowed to we can unlock some more of the real world kind of penalty systems and point systems that we weren't able to utilize previously. So we're really excited, and we think we'll offer a further enhanced proposition come summertime, maybe July time, when we kick back off again.
Well, Andy, go and enjoy that cold one that you're going to have out of the fridge, and well done. Congratulations to everyone at the World GT for the series that we've enjoyed and all the viewers have enjoyed watching.
Great stuff. Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Peter.
There we go. Series organizer, or one of the admins, should I say, Andy Shiel. Peter, I mean, we're sort of coming towards the end of our broadcast slot here, so final thoughts on the season. I mean, I've got to say it's a deserved championship in the end for Leandro Andaruti, but the Alex Davidson and Alan Vasquez shouldn't feel too disheartened about that. Pro-Am and Am, just absolute domination out there.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, Andy Archer did the job by, keep clocking up those regular finishes, just keep the points ticking over. That's what you need to do to be Am champion. James Boumé, I think he did it with consistency, but he did it with some outstanding one-off performances where he really scored big. Sebring is one that really sticks in the memory because he put so much preparation in for the Sebring 12 hour, more than anybody, I think, and he really used that to his advantage when we went to Sebring at that same time with the World GT Championship. In Pro, it was just a heavyweight slugfest, wasn't it? And it was a high quality one at that, and Leandro Andaruti thoroughly deserved it. But likewise, Vasquez and Davidson can go into the off-season with their heads held very high. They put on a great show and they raced with real heart.
I think my producer's going to shout at me right now, but I don't care right now because I want to speak to our Pro-Am champion. Peter, take it away very quickly with James Boumé.
I think it's only right we get a chat with our Pro-Am champion, James Boumé. How does that feel?
Oh, that's a bit. As much as it's, I mean, I'll tell you what, I'm so happy that it's my first season doing World GT and it's gone this well. But I must admit it's a bit bittersweet because I'm incredibly apologetic and upset over how the last race went with the sudden loss of grip, and I just had no control of the car, unfortunately. But it's fair to say that I'm completely over the moon with what's happened. So yeah, it's all good. But yeah.
And what have been some of the key moments of the season? I mean, for me, you were just fantastic at Sebring. I mean, I'm sure that's a highlight. But any other moments in the season that you really stand out for you?
I think just the whole sort of. I must admit, the team as well. The whole team's got a great togetherness feeling, and we've all put a whole load of prep into everything that we've done, and. I think it's not a matter of just the high points. I think it's just the consistency across the whole season. We've all done incredibly well, and yeah, I'm very thankful to have a very supporting team as well of Altitude Esports.
And how many times has Adam Watson hit you in practice?
Maybe not enough, maybe. He's probably the person I try overtaking against, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's all been great. It's all been great. Yeah. But,
well, it's certainly been fantastic to watch, James. Congratulations on the title. It's been so high quality in Pro-Am all season long. Thoroughly deserved, and good luck for the next season.
Thank you very much. And yeah, I think one thing I'd like to say as well, I'd like to say a big thank you to my team, Altitude Esports. I think we've had a phenomenal season. And not only that, our sponsors as well, who are as follows, who are 3M, Sim Stickers, Finding Speed, Grumpy Dad Designs, Mr. Hedge Photography. You all know who you are. And yeah, I want to say thank you all so much for support this season as well. Oh, and can't forget Pure Sims as well. Can't forget them. But yeah, thank you so much all to all that supported us as well.
Well, there we go. That is James Bume trying to take a note out of the Oscars there and thanking everybody. But I'm afraid that is going to be all that we've got time for here. Peter, just a standout moment for you, or has it just been a tremendous season for you?
Do you know, actually, the standout moment is today, Andy Rutti's performance today. All 3 races, puts it on pole when it was under the most intense pressure. Got the job done. That's got to be the moment of the season for me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been tremendous stuff, and yeah, it was a case of where did you look for the action? Well, it was everywhere here. Thank you so much to everybody who's been involved in the World GT Championship, to all the series sponsors as well for supporting this championship, and from everybody here at RaceSpotTV, from Connery Maddock, who's been behind the scenes on production today and for most of the season, also Hugo Luis as well, who is on production. Peter Mackay, thank you very much for joining myself, Paul Smith, here in the commentary box, and it will be for us to say goodbye for now. Stay tuned here on RaceSpotTV.